And we're back in Everybody Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Again, joining us here for the second hour, we have Nikki Anderson filling in for Mr. Billy Gibbs, who is at Pebble Beach for the Pure Insurance Championship, benefiting and impacting the first tee. And looks like Claire Alford, who's the representative from Central Coast, playing in that with Jay Haas, senior tour player. They don't tee off till almost noontime, so we aren't going to be able to have any updates. But if you guys want to check it out, I'm sure it'll be on Golf Channel, and I think NBC will be carrying that. You get to see the kids play with the pros, and just phenomenal, amazing players, amazing kids. Owen Averett and Jack Averett have gone through before, and we've had them on the show. They've played in that event, and it's just really cool to watch, and they do a very, very good job of highlighting the kids and their accomplishments and who they are and who they want to be and where they want to go, and it's pretty inspiring, pretty cool stuff. So we were talking in the first hour, in case you guys missed it, we talked about Nikki's trip to Scotland, and she organized this on her own, a golf trip with a long time friend. And we had mentioned that, we had gone to the Masters in 2016. We had a lot of structure there and just kind of the logistics of getting there, and
which I think is absolutely necessary.
And then it's really interesting hearing you guys, the way you planned your trip to Scotland, because it sounds almost the opposite, but like you said, just listening to you talk about it, there's a lot more freedom. Sounded really cool. So one of the things that you guys, I'm assuming you planned this trip as well because the Solheim Cup was going on.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned that you were planning the trip up to a year in advance. So Sterling Hills Golf Club, STIRLING, in Scotland was where you guys made your home course. Yeah. And was that primarily because of the Solheim Cup as well, and location-wise? Or?
Yeah, we were trying to find a place to stay when we knew, Solheim was going to be at Glen Eagles. And originally we found a place that was right at Glen Eagles. And then that kind of turned out not to work out. So we started trying to figure out where we wanted to be and rethinking what we were going to do and wanting to be more like in a place where there's some things going on. Because Glen Eagles is really out kind of in Nowheresville. We would have been driving to do anything we possibly wanted to do. So we settled on...
I would think it would have been crazy during the...
It would have been crazy.
It would have been not like, it almost wouldn't be enjoyable in some sense when the Solheim Cup's going on, if that was your like home course,
Exactly. And there's 3 courses there, but even so, there's too much going on.
Exactly.
But so staying in Sterling was like what we finally decided on. We spent a long time looking for different places and reading about places, and that turned out to be such a great place to stay. I would highly, highly recommend it. It's only about 30 minutes from the Edinburgh airport. So it's easy, you're not driving a long way trying to get to your first place, but it was so well located and the weather was nice, and just I could highly, highly recommend that.
Did you use, I noticed on their homepage of Sterling Golf Club, they have on the bottom where they have a contact for group bookings and traveling and stuff. Did you go through them?
No.
You still did it on your own?
I did it. We did it through our own. I did email them and tell them, hey, we're coming and we're going to stay for this amount of time and you're going to be our home course and we'd like to, my friend's going to ship her golf clubs there. It's, so that we did that kind of stuff up front.
Were you able to store your clubs there?
I could have, but I didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us, we kicked off the segment here with the Solheim Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Give us
the Solheim Cup was amazing. First of all, it was so nice that they had the shuttle that went from the car park in Sterling up to the event and dropped you basically right off at the course. So logistically, they made it so easy to get there and to leave. And it's a fairly hilly course, and so it's kind of separated into 2 areas. So you kind of had to choose where you were going to go and what your game plan was going to be for watching. But the best thing ever, and I brought it with me because this is the bomb, was you could buy these little headphones, and it was a radio broadcasting of what was going on at the Solheim Cup. So you're walking around watching whatever you're watching, but in your ear is, hey, so-and-so has just done this and we've done that. And so it was like you were watching TV, because a lot of times you don't want to go to these kind of events because the TV coverage is so good and you miss so much. So with this, we got to hear what was going on constantly at the same time we were watching whatever we were watching where we were.
That is really cool.
This is awesome. And I hope that they do something like this at Tournament of Champions, because I think that would be great.
I've never seen anything like that. So it's a little headphone.
It's a little headphone. You just turn it on,
yeah.
and it's tuned into the radio station they had going there. And you just wear it around your neck, and
could you change the channel and listen to other music and stuff?
No channel.
That's disappointing.
But it was that was the bomb. So that made it really enjoyable because you knew what was going on everywhere at the same time. Because sometimes you go to the tournaments, you just have no clue because there's just even at the
cheering.
Masters.
Yeah, you hear cheering, but you're not really sure what's
really happening.
Than the big scoreboards.
Yeah. So the first day we went out and we kind of hung out at a couple of different holes. And then the next day when we went, we decided we were going to position ourselves at a place where we could see all the groups come through. And then we were going to move to another place where we could then see all the groups come through again. And that worked really well. Because sometimes when you're trying to move with players, the crowds were amazing. I mean, it was over 80,000 people.
Wow.
It was crazy how many. I mean, you couldn't get close sometimes.
So compared to like the Masters, way more people? I mean, I know it's the spatial relations too, based on the type of the golf course, but
it seemed like it. Yeah, it seemed like it.
Wow.
So, so moving along and trying to go with players or go a lot of places just didn't work very well. You ended up walking and then not being able to see what was going on because too many people were already there. So we figured out that kind of staking out a good place and then watching everyone go through and then staking out another good place was the way to do it. And then we had the little radio thing at the same time so we could hear what was going on. But so we had kind of had to get that strategy going before we really optimized the whole thing. But watching those girls, I mean, we had a really young team compared to Europe. There was a lot of first-timers.
Funny you said that because I have the Solheim Cup 2019 website pulled up, and they already have the Solheim Cup 2021 up. So if you type in Solheim Cup, it pulls that one up on Google. Mm-hmm. But the 2019 Solheim Cup stuff is still up at Glen Eagles. And I was looking at the names of the USA team. I don't even recognize...
Yeah.
I mean, I recognize there's Lexi Thompson. I do recognize Annie Park and Morgan Pressel and Allie McDonald. And I mean, and Jessica Corda,
and Lizette Solis.
But that's not, those aren't like household names.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah.
From the USA.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost recognize, which is weird, I almost recognize more of the European teams.
Uh-huh. Well, they're older.
Yeah.
They've been around longer.
So you see, you're there at the Solheim Cup and you're watching both teams go and they're playing each other. How are they interacting with each other, like the USA team and the European teams? Like as a team, does the European team look like they're playing the game differently? Or was it just they're just playing golf and they all look the same, like strategy wise and whatnot?
I would say they looked very the same strategy wise. People were playing to their own strengths. I mean, you have someone who's a bomber versus someone who's not. Obviously, they're going to be playing it a little differently. But we were laughing because the U.S. Uniforms the first day, they were awesome. They were these blue, big stars and blue and white and just great uniforms. And then we go, okay, U.S. definitely gets the edge on the uniforms today. And then they ended up winning that first, having the better score. Then the second day, then in the afternoon, the Europeans came back. And so then the next day, the Europeans had this horrible uniform. I don't know who chose it, but it was this gray, pukey pink.
It's so funny to me that whoever the designers are, I mean, we've talked about this many times on the show with the Ryder Cup.
Yes.
I Yeah.
And they lost.
It's amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
they wore these pukey uniforms and they lost, you know.
So you're saying that there's a correlation?
Yes, because then the last day they had the better uniforms. They had great blue and yellow uniforms the last day. They were awesome. And they ended up pulling it off, you know. So it's all like we've talked about before, you know. It comes down to that.
Maybe it's set up strategically that way.
I don't know.
You never know.
You never know. But I'm telling you, it was a contest for this to come down to the final putt on the 18th green.
Yeah.
And I think there were 5 matches in the singles matches that went to the 18th green, and 4 of them went to the 17th green.
Wow.
I mean, that's just crazy. How
sounds like
close
really good golf.
It was
actually.
It was really good golf, and that's the thing that I mean. Even though the U.S. didn't win, I mean, we were even saying it. We almost would have been sad if Suzanne Petterson hadn't made that putt because it was such a great moment.
It's a great moment. Yeah,
it was such a great moment,
and they're on their turf,
and
yeah.
just the whole thing. It was, and I think everyone felt that way. Both teams felt that way. You know, it was just great. I mean, everyone was saying, but really, it's great for women's golf.
Right.
This has been the most fabulous tournament because of that. I mean, it's so exciting. We went on Saturday. It was so cold and so windy. You couldn't have, I mean, we had so many layers on. I had big gloves on, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we stuck it out for the long time. And before we left and decided to see the end at the pub. But then we went Sunday.
That's where I would be.
Yeah. We thought, well, Sunday, you know, we'll go for a little while and then we don't want to get in the crush of everything. So we'll leave, go to the pub. We did not leave. There was no way we were leaving. It was so exciting. It was just to that last putt it was the most exciting tournament I've ever been at.
Is there a course that you played that you could compare the course they were playing at Glen Eagles? Well, design-wise?
Yeah, it's not a links course.
Yeah.
So we played mostly links courses.
What about a course here you've played in the United States? Any courses even around the Central Coast here that you've played where it would be like Glen Eagles as a similar kind of design, or was it pretty long? I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me here. I was trying to pull that up.
Yeah, it was. I don't think I have that either. I'm trying to think of it. It was definitely terrain, you know, in terms of a lot of elevation changes and, but parkland, you know, course. Trying to think of what would be a good example.
So it says they have 72 holes there.
Yeah, 3 courses. Mm-hmm.
They can make one of the courses can be as long as 7,300. I'm sure they weren't playing 7,300.
No.
So we might as well bring this up now because as I'm looking at the course information, on the Centurion course, it is what it's listed as, and this is the course they played on the Solheim Cup. So they have all the hole names listed here. Mm-hmm. So hole number 1, the Bracken Bray. And hole 2, Wester Green Hills, and hole 4, Gowden Beastie. So I'm not going to go through the whole list, but these names are awesome.
Yeah.
The Mickle Skelp. These sound like names that Billy and I would just kind of make up in some of our stupid banterings that we have that we love so much. The Wimplin Wine. So, what's the history of the? Did you find out like the history of the names, like where these names come from these holes? Because that would be really fascinating.
Yeah, they're all different. Like I have the ones from Royal Aberdeen. They're much more short and sweet. Like they have first. The name is First, then Pool, Cottage, Valley, Road, Black Dog, Ridge, End.
I like Black Dog.
I love the fact that they have names.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I think that is just so cool. I think we need to do that here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now that I'm going through the website a little more thoroughly, the Solheim Cup 2019 website, under each of the hole listings they have for the 18 holes that the Solheim Cup played, they actually have a drop-down menu. You click on it, and it gives you a drone video of every hole. Oh,
yeah.
So you get to kind of see the layout of it and everything. But They look like pretty long. They played pretty long on this course.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's pretty amazing. The Larch Gate. That's hole number 7. Did you find a name over there? Like when you played any other courses, did the other courses have names?
All the courses have
Every
names.
hole had names.
Mm-hmm.
So what about where you guys were at Sterling Hills? What were some of the names you remember?
At Sterling?
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I don't. There's so many. I mean, you just don't think about it at the time.
Dun Roman and the Kakani. I love it. That is so cool. So cool. So
that's the other thing about Solheim when they were playing. You're talking about it being long. It wasn't so much that it was long, but the wind and the cold on Saturday, it was unbelievable. Like that wind was 2 to 3 club wind a lot of times.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It was unreal. It was really, really hard conditions.
Having never been overseas in that area to play golf, like they talked about stereotypes earlier, that's what I envision if you go to play golf there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just going to expect that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know? And so when you guys were there, I mean, you were there for almost a month. Was it always windy?
No, it wasn't always windy. I mean, there's definitely, as the day goes on, it gets windier. But there were times, like when we played Cruden Bay, it was windy. It was, I mean, especially when you turn back and start coming back into it, it's like, okay, that's a lot of wind. Now, Hawaii has taught me how to kind of gauge how much wind it is. So I did better than some other people by clubbing up appropriately. But there's some times that you go, God, I can't believe I'm hitting this club for that distance, but with this wind.
Which becomes really challenging from a standpoint of your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Over matter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for sure. So we'll go ahead and take our first break of the first hour. We're talking about Nikki's trip to Scotland that she spent almost a month in September here over at Scotland playing golf and seeing the 2019 Solheim Cup. She set up her own trip. She would highly recommend that. She based their stay around Sterling Hills Golf Club.
Just Sterling, no Hills.
Or Sterling, excuse me, not Sterling Hills. Sterling Golf Club over there in Scotland. And you can go to the website. Their website is awesome. They've got some contact information there, too, where you could, they'll help set up your trip. So good stuff. And we come back, we'll talk a little bit more. I want to thank Nikki Anderson for partnering with us here on Golf Talk Radio. She is now at Compass Realty. It's compass.com. And if you go to compass.com and look for Find an Agent, type in Nikki Anderson, and you'll find her listing there, all her contact information, and she can help you out. Want to talk real estate? You want to buy? Just want to see where the market is? Get a hold of Nikki at 805-235-3327. That's 805-235-3327. Also, we have her listing on golftalkradio.com for their Maui vacation rental, which looks just awesome. And if you guys want to book that, click on the picture at golftalkradio.com. It'll take you to the VRBO.com listing, and that listing number is 614-266. We'll be right back. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy.